Hello and welcome to Hump Day Lunch Break Live. I hope everyone is doing well today and you're enjoying the weather. Hope wherever you are, it is nice out. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. Okay, there we go. Let's just move the camera over just a little more so we can get kind of centered in our screen. Okay, so happy to be here. Let me know what you're having for lunch today. I have not gone that far and figured it out yet. I've had back-to-back meetings all day, so I really don't even know when I'm going to have time for lunch. I hate when you have days like that, don't you? All right, so I'm just getting over to my feed here and make sure I can see everyone's comments. So please say hi, let me know that you're there, send me a little love, and let me know what you're doing for lunch. I'd love to hear. Okay, let's see, there I am. All right. Let's get the comments in. And so today we are going to feature a simple to stepped up card process. Love being able to show different ways that you can use your stamp sets, and really if you're a beginning stamper or you're an avid stamper, there are things that you can do even with just a stamp set. So today's stamp set we're going to be featuring, let's see here. So, okay, and I need to do one more thing here so I can see the comments. So I guess we'll go on. Okay, we're going to be featuring our Cactus Cuties and the coordinating punch that goes with it. I got a little bit of a glare there, sorry. Not sure if I can change that. Let me see. How is that? Well, that might be a little better. It's a little dark for some reason, but okay. All right, so we're going to, and actually we'll be showing these. I'm going to bring in my host code. So here is my April host code. If there is anything that you see here today that you would like to purchase, love to help you out, and you can purchase things from my online store. So this is the host code that you would enter, and my online store is will be in the link of the video here. I'll make sure I get that added. And let's take a look at the cards. Now, I'm going to mix it up a little bit because I'm changing around the colors that we're going to be using. So here is our first card, very simple. Then we went ahead and added a couple more things, and then we stepped it up. So I'm going to show you those 3 levels. I know I showed that pretty quick. It's just a little sneak peek for you. So I'm going to show you how we did each of those. And let's bring in some supplies. Oh my goodness, I'm talking over myself here. Whew. All right, so the first one I have right here, I am going to be featuring the In the Wild Designer Series paper. So there is some amazing paper, and I'm going to tell you right now, this is one of the last chance items, and I believe it's still in stock. I didn't check a little bit ago. But this Designer Series paper is on sale for $6.90. Normally it's $11.50. So on one side you have these kind of like animal and jungle type prints, and on the other side you have some more subdued prints. So really fun things to use. Today we're going to be using this little flower one. I thought it went pretty fantastic with this little flower here that's on the cactus. So let's move this over. I'm going to bring in our mini catalog. So this is the January to June mini catalog. On page 66, you can see this bundle, and that's what we're using. This is going to be my featured club for next month, for May. So just a little share with you there. Actually, I don't know if it's going to be club or class. It's going to be one or the other. Okay, let's start off with our base, which is 8.5 by 5.5. It's scored at 4 1/4. And I am going to go through this pretty quick. I will have the links to all the supplies used in the video today, and I will put that in the description. If you're watching the replay on YouTube, please make sure you subscribe and click the notify button. That way you get notified of whenever I upload a video, and you'll have all the information. Usually it takes me pretty much a full day to get it uploaded to YouTube, but it will be there. Yeah, okay. I then have a piece of Very Vanilla. This measures 4 by 5 1/4, and that is going to be for the inside of our card. I have a piece of Very Vanilla. This is me a scrap because we're going to be stamping. So let me just bring in that. I have another piece of, and actually our card is going to go this way. I have a piece of Soft Succulent, and this measures, and where did I put my measurements? I have them all written down so I wouldn't forget them. This measures 3 by 3 1/4. I have a piece of Very Vanilla that measures 2 3/4 by 3 3/4, so that will sit right in there. I have a piece of Designer Series paper, so this is the back. And this coordinates with the Evening Evergreen paper just perfectly. And this measures 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. I think I gave you the wrong measurement for this one. Soft Succulent is 3 by 3 1/4. My Very Vanilla is 2 3/4 by 3. Sorry. This is 2 3/4 by 3 1/4. So that's going to go right on our card front like that. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of background here. I really felt that I needed something on the back of the card just to keep it from being so stark. And let's go ahead and bring in our stamps here. So I'm going to bring in this little flower one here because it kind of ties in with the little flower in the Designer Series paper. So bring that in. I'm going to pull in my Evening Evergreen ink. And I want to get a piece of scrap paper here so that I can stamp off. Then at some point, I'll be stamping off the cardstock a little bit. Okay, so let's go with our Evening Evergreen and just randomly stamp this around. Again, it's just adding a little bit of a background, adding some little focal interest here. And when I get to the top here, I want to make sure I have my card closed because I don't want to stamp the back. All right. Again, I'm just tapping and turning. I don't really have any rhyme or reason of where I'm stamping these. I'm just stamping. This is a great form of stress relief, just to say, stamping a little background. Now that one's going to be covered. I'm not worried about it. Okay. That's good enough for now. When you think that you need more, stop. Okay, I need to get my scrub, and hopefully I've got, it's damp. All right, so I got my little chamois here, and I'm going to clean that off. This works great for photopolymer sets. And again, when you're using a photopolymer set, make sure that you are using a foam, like a paper piercing mat, or something underneath to give you a little bit of cushion, because these do not have any cushion. Not like the cling stamps that have that little bit of rubber in the back. Okay. Next, we're going to go ahead and I need to move some of this out of the way. We're going to put this Designer Series paper right on the front. So I'll grab my seal here. You can use liquid glue or you can use seal. All right. And we're going to put this on. Hello, Amy. How are you today? So I'm just going to put this right here. I then have, I've got so many things like laying here, so I was all organized, and I have moved my things around too many times here. Okay. I have my vanilla here, and again, this was measured at 2 3/4 by 3. And I want to make sure I have that going in the correct way. So this is 3 inches here. The height is 3 inches. Okay, we're going to grab our cinnamon cider stamp pad, and we're going to pull in our little pot here. You can use whichever one, but for this card and these measurements, this one kind of works the best. Plus, I get to use my punch. On this one, we're strictly just going to use our stamps. I wanted to show you that you don't need to have all the tools. And my stamp was kind of coming off there. All right, so I want to make sure that I have that fully inked up, and I'm going to stamp this right at the very bottom of my cardstock, just like that. Ooh, I had a little something on there. Let me clean that off. I don't know what I had on my stamp there. Here we go. Okay, I'm just going to stamp again to make sure I don't have anything there. Yep, all right. All right, so I've got my Cinnamon Cider, which is a retiring color. So if you like that color, make sure that you go ahead and order it because it will not be available after May 2nd. All right, and I wouldn't hold off until last minute. Normally, these have always sold out, or in colors when they're retiring. Normally, they sell out pretty darn quick. Last time I checked, they were still available, but I didn't check today. All right, the next time I do is I'm going to pull in my cactus. So we're going to use this little squat cactus here. And we'll end up using this one as well. So we've got those two pulled in. Let me grab some blocks here. And I'm going to put this one right here, this one right here. All right, we're going to pull in our Evening Evergreen ink. And I'm going to just line this up so the bottom of my cactus lines up with the very top of my little pop there. Ooh, I just love how this looks. All right, let's go ahead and grab our other little one here. And I'm going to put one right here. I'll put one right here. Almost looks like Mickey ears. Another one right here. All right. And now the last thing that I need to get this piece done is I need to have that little flower. And, oops. Be careful when you're stamping with a really dark color because if you accidentally brush on it, you're going to get a little smear, which I have there, but that's okay. I'm going to stamp this little flower right at the top here. Just like that. All right. Okay, so now the next thing we'll do is we're going to adhere these things together. So let's go ahead and flip this over. And we'll just, oops, add some adhesive here. All right. Oh my goodness, it doesn't want to roll. All right. Before I actually put this one on my card here, I'm going to pull in some dimensionals. Dimensionals are a little added bling, and you get 300 dimensionals for like $4. They're inexpensive bling. And yes, to me, it is bling. It pops it up. It adds some depth to your card. Fun, fun, fun. Because everyone needs a little pop, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and put this right here. We need a sentiment, so I have a 3/4 inch strip of soft succulent. I'm going to bring in my Evening Evergreen again, and we're going to grab the Hope Your Day is on Point. So let's grab another block here. Oops. And I need my okay, and I'm just going to do it at this end right there. Okay, so notice I've only used stamps, ink, and paper right now. I haven't added in any punches. I'm just going to tear my end to give it a little visual appeal. And now I can see how long I need to snip this at. So I'll bring in my snips, and I'm going to cut it right at the end. And I'm going to go ahead and put a dimensional on the one end here. And I'll put a bit of liquid glue or your seal right at this end. Don't need a whole lot. All right. So here we go. Hope your day is on point. How cute is that? Now let's step this card up a little bit. Somehow I got glue down here. Hold on. Got to get that off. All right. We're going to step it up. And we are going to add in some bling. So this time, let's go ahead and bring in our pieces in. I've got my Evening Evergreen again, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. We've got a bone folder here. There we go. Give it a nice crease. We are going to take our stamp again, and where's our little flower? Our little flower. Our Evening Evergreen, and we're going to stamp the background again. And one thing you can always do too is you can always turn your cardstock instead of turning your stamp. Just saying. If that makes it easier for you to stamp, just keep turning, rotating your card. All right, I'm trying to do this one really fast. All right, good enough. Get that cleaned off. Yeah, and I need to get that block cleaned up because we'll be using the bumblebee again. All right. Now, we're going to add in a piece of lattice here. But instead of actually using this whole strip, I'm going to cut this right in half. I'm just going to take my scissors. And the lattice, this paper lattice here is an embellishment that is on sale as well. And the price of that, I want to say $4.80. Here it is. Yeah, $4.80. So you get a whole pack of this. So it comes like this. There are 10 full sheets of the lattice. Really fun to use. Great little extra something something. All right. And we're going to have our designer series paper. So we're just going to have that right in the back of our designer series paper. Let's go ahead. I'm going to adhere all this together. I'm just going to use my liquid glue because you know what? It'll be fast for right now. And then for this, what I like to do is I like to take a little bit of liquid glue. Now, if you are using a new container of liquid glue, be careful because a lot of glue comes out at one time. So here I just added little tiny drops. That's all that I really need. I'm going to bring this back in. I'm going to put this right here. And now I'm going to lift this piece up and put it right on the front of my card. Just like so. And press down a little bit. And we'll just move this off to the side to dry because we got a little other work to do. Okay, I have a circle. This is using our layering circles. You could use a die. You could use a punch. It is the largest circle in the layering circles. I think it's about a 3-inch circle. Yeah, it's just shy of 3 inches. So I have this. I have my scrap of designer series, scrap of Very Vanilla, because this is where I'm going to do my stamping on. So let's go ahead and let's bring back in our stamps. We're going to use our cinnamon cider here. Let's put our glue away before it gets all over my table. All right. I was just looking for another block really quick so I don't have to keep changing these all out of my blocks. There we go. Okay, so here is my, all right. So I'm going to give you a little tip when you're stamping. Because we're going to be using our punch, turn your punch over and you can see what direction you need to go in when you're stamping. So I'm just going to put this right up above me. Are you going to see it? No. I'll put this right next to me. That way you can see. So I'm going to ink up my little pot here for my plant. And I'm going to stamp this on my left side of my cardstock. Right there. And the reason I'm doing it to the left is so I can slide this in and just punch this area and not waste a whole bunch of paper. Now, I'm going to bring in my cactus portion, and that is going to use my Evening Evergreen. So we'll go ahead and stamp this. And I know that I can stamp it right. Not right there. Because it's on this side of the stamp here, I should have really stamped it right there. So that's where I'm going to go back to. I'm going to stamp it right here. I know that I'm going to need a couple of these, so I'm just going to do all this stamping at one time because the next card will use this as well. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to grab my small little cactus piece here. And I am going to, again, look at my punch. It's shaped upside down. So I'm going to actually turn this just a little bit because it's kind of at a slight angle. And I'm going to do it along the top here. So I'm going to spin my cardstock around. And I'm going to stamp several of these. And I'm going to space them far enough apart so I don't have to worry that I'm going to cut one off. All right. I might have to stamp a couple more, but we'll see. All right, and then the last thing I want to stamp will be my little flower. But we're going to go ahead and punch all this out first, then we'll do our flower. All right. If you want to line this up, I will have another video that I will post on Friday on how to actually stamp and use your punch all at one time. I'd like to just do this for now just because it's easier and faster. So I'm going to do that. And I'm going to turn it this way. I'm going to do 1, 2. Let's go this one first. I'm going off to the side because notice how I'm almost cutting those off. I got them a little too close. Let's just get those all punched. That way I have them ready to go. Okay. I'm just going to cut this section off because I know I'm going to need a little bit more. I need to punch out my little planter here. So I'll do that. Okay. So let's pull in the pieces we've had so far. So we've got our little cactus. And remember how we stamped our first card. And now the last thing I need is a piece of that, a little piece of flower. So let's go ahead and take our flower in Bumblebee. And now it's way down here. So what I like to do is I actually just like to take a strip of paper to do this. So I'm just going to use this strip right here. Notice how it's at an angle there. So we're going to stamp it kind of at that same angle right here, just like that. Now I can slide this in and punch it. Okay. So we've got our little piece. Let's get to assembling this because we've got a whole nother card to do. All right. Let's move our pieces here. And let's bring back in our circle. And this time we're going to just lay this out first before we actually adhere anything on. So I can see kind of where I want. I want to make sure that I'm not overextending that circle. There we go. I'm going to just do it like that. You can change these however you want, your alignment, however you feel a cactus should be looking. Now, if you want to go that way. All right. Okay, so now I'm going to bring in my dimensionals, and I'm going to adhere all those. I don't know what I did with them, so we'll use these. Oh, here they are. So I'm going to start with my planter, and I'm going to put my dimensional at the bottoms. This way I can tuck this in. And we'll just add pieces to all of these here. So let's just move them off to the side here so we have them. I'm only going to add to one of these. I mean, two of these. One I'm going to have just sitting right on my card. Okay, so I got my nail polish on there. All right, let's go ahead and put on our planter pot. Oh, I didn't tear off the, it didn't want to come off. Planter pot here. And then our cactus base, and notice I'm tucking it right underneath there. And now I have my first little portion of the flower. So I don't know of the cactus. I don't know what these little extensions are called. If someone knows, let me know. Put it in the comments. And before I adhere that one, I'm going to actually try and get it off my nail first. I'm going to take this one and a little liquid glue, and I'm going to just tuck this under here. Give it a good press. Then I'll take this other one and pop this one up. Here we go. Now, this little flower is too small for one of these larger ones. So what you'll need to do is just cut out a little piece. And you may actually use a smaller dimensional as well. All right, let's flip that over. If you didn't have the Bumblebee ink, what you could do is you could actually just punch it out of colored cardstock. But I wanted to use the stamp. All right, so we're going to just put that right there. All right, so we've got that piece done. Now, let's bring back in our card base. All right, so here we have this. We have this. I want to bring in my little sentiment strip again. So here we are with our soft succulent. And I'm going to bring in the same phrase, hope your day is on point, and I'm going to stamp that in the Evening Evergreen again. I just love this Evening Evergreen. It is such just a vibrant color. You know, when you don't want to stamp in black or gray or brown, this is a really nice go-to. Okay, so I'm going to stamp it towards the right-hand side of this strip. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in my punch here, and this is not the one I wanted. Let's see. I'm bringing in the lovely label punch because it says, hope your day is on point, and those have points, so I'm going to use that. I'm going to use this one here, so I'm going to just slide this in. This will allow a 1-inch strip, 3/4 inch strip, and a 1/2 inch strip. So I'm going to flip that over, make sure where I'm punching. We'll bring this in. Now, this is a lot longer than I need it to be, so I don't want it going over the edge because it won't fit my envelope, but I don't want it going all the way here. So I am just going to take a little pencil mark and just make a little mark right here so I know about where I want to trim that down. I'll trim it down there. And I'm going to go ahead. I'm just going to temporarily place that because I want to see where my circle is going to go here. All right, so I'll go ahead and I'll add my liquid glue here. You can use seal, whichever you prefer. All right, and I'm going to add this right about here. I want to have some of that paper lattice showing on the bottom of it as well. So I'm going to give it a good press. I'm going to go ahead and take this, and I'm just going to adhere my circle right onto the card front, just like that. And now let's bring in a little more. So we're still working with just embellishments. So the next thing I'm going to bring in is going to be my linen thread. All right, and I just need a little something on there, so I'm going to tie a quick bow here. So all we did to kind of step up this card from the original is we added our paper lattice here. We added our punches. Okay. I'm going to add this right on front. So I'm just going to take a glue dot here and I got a little glue dot back on my knot here. All right, peel that little backing off. Okay, and then I'm going to just put that right on the front, just like that. Okay, isn't that cute? So our first card, just going to show you the first one, the second one. So this is a little bit more stepped up, using the punches, using the lattice, using the linen thread. And now our third one, this is the best one, just saying. Okay, I have, again, a piece of 8.5 by 5.5 Evening Evergreen, scored in half at 4 1/4. Now I have another piece of Evening Evergreen that was 4 inches by 5 1/4. I run it through our die cut machine, and I've used the brick and mortar embossing folder. So you can see what this looks like. So it's a big 6 by 6 one. So I just set this in. I ran this right through the machine, and it comes out with this awesome pattern. And I'm going to just adhere this right to the front of my card. I'm going to go ahead and use my liquid glue because there's so much depth and dimension when you use those embossing folders, especially a 3D embossing folder. You want to make sure that you're using an adhesive that's really going to hold that. So there we go. And again, it just adds some depth to your card. All right, we're going to bring in, again, this little piece of lattice that we had. I need my designer series paper. Again, this is all the same measurement from the first card. I haven't changed anything up. I'm just adding a few things to this. So we'll go ahead. We're going to adhere this one down just like we did the other one. All right, I'm going to add a little bit of adhesive dots. Now, if you have tiny little glue dots, you could do this too. I find it just as easy to use my liquid glue as long as it's not a brand new one, because I don't want to have a really big splotch of glue. Like that one's kind of big. You just want to use a little bit amount. Right. So let's place that here. As long as I'm overlapping a little bit, doesn't matter where on that card it goes. So go ahead and give that a press. And sometimes I'll take my block and kind of press down as well, especially since I'm trying to adhere this to an embossed background. All right. Again, so now we have our pieces here. I just got those extra pieces, and I need one more strip of my succulent, which I must have forgotten to cut. So bear with me while I again grab a 3/4 inch slice here. I'm sure I had it, I just misplaced it in my little stash of things here. All right, trimmer, where are you? Oh, I found it. It was sitting right next to me on my chair. Hee. Okay, let's bring in our paper pierce mat. We've got our evening evergreen ink. We've got our hope your day is on point. Again, I'm going to stamp it to the right side of my strip here. I'm going to leave a little space on the end because we're going to do the same thing. We're going to use our punch again. And get this cleaned off this time. I'm going to slip this right in. Make sure you're going on the side that you want. I tend to accidentally flip it the wrong way every once in a while. But that's okay, because it's kind of cool with the banner end too. So the lovely label punch, really fun. You get 6 different sizes of punches that you can do with this. And I will have a link to all the products used. Again, we're going to go ahead and trim this down. Again, I'm just taking my pencil and I'm just making a little mark here so I know where I trim that off. Right there. Right. And I'll go ahead and adhere that on. So really kind of doing the same thing as our second card. I'm just adding a little more to it. All right, so I'm going to bring the block in. Where did it go? Push down. Okay, I'm going to put this off to the side. And we're going to do the rest of our stamping. So we had some of this already done. I'm going to go ahead and punch this one out. And I had 1, 2. Oh, that one didn't get. Okay, 1, 2. I need a couple more of those. So we'll bring back in our evening evergreen. And I also need one of the little planter pots. So I'm going to do this one first. And then I'm going to do this one over here. So we'll go ahead and punch those 2 out. All right. Now I have just enough room for my little planter. So we'll bring that in with our cinnamon cider. And stamp it right here. And I'll have to cut off this piece here because I wasn't paying attention to what side I stamped it on. All right. So I'm going to just slide this in, punch it out, get rid of all those little extra pieces. I need to punch a flower. So let's see, will I be able to fit that in? Oh, sure I will. Okay, let's grab our bumblebee again, and let's stamp our flower. Where did our bumblebee go? Our bumblebee ink here. Stamp our flower right here. All right, so let's get that cleaned off. That way I'm not putting everything in my inks. All right, okay, we're doing good for time. All right, let's put this in and we'll go ahead and move it around so I can cut that out. All right, let's get rid of the confetti that we have here and just get the pieces that we need. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and my little flower, and my little planter pot, and all of this is just extra. So we're going to pull that right off the table, get it out of the way. Oh, darn. What happened there? I must have actually threw the one I stamped away. All right, so we're going to re-stamp that. Again, you can always use cardstock. And I think, let's see, which way is it going? This way. I'm hoping I can get that slid in. It's a small little piece. Now, if you run into a problem where you can't get that piece in, what you're going to do is you're going to grab a little Post-it note. You're going to stick it to part of your paper, just like that. And you're going to slide this in. And now that Post-it note kind of gave you a little extra length. So you'll be able to get that punched. All right. We'll put that aside. And here we go. Throw the extra garbage away. And here's our little flower. And bring this back in. I have also a 3-inch circle again. We're going to do the same steps just like we did before and layering out our little pot here. And I want the larger dimensionals. So, oh my goodness. My nail polish doesn't seem to have been dried. Okay. I had to do a little quick repair today and apparently I forgot to put on my sealer. All right. So again, just building your little cactus. I'm missing one. There it is. Tucking that guy right there. You could actually overlap that one if you wanted. So I have one overlapping. We'll have this one tucked behind and underneath. So just a little bit of glue. Doesn't need a whole lot. And we'll just tuck that one right there. We'll come back in with our next one. Add a dimensional. Put this one right here. And again, come in with a little extra piece of our dimensional strip. I like to just cut off just a little chunk there. And this one, put it on there so it doesn't stick out too much. Again, a mini, like a half a mini would work really well for that. All right, there we go. I'm going to bring this in. Okay, we're going to also bring in our linen thread again. So let's go ahead, let's adhere this one down. Just using some liquid glue there. And I just need to make sure that's straight. There we go. We'll get our bow created. So right now the only difference between this one and that second card is the is the background. I'm like, it's nothing. It's the same. It's our embossed background. Oh, some days I crack myself up. Okay. So we've got our linen bow here. And again, we'll grab a glue dot. Now I have these tiny little glue dots here that came from a paper pumpkin kit, so that's what I'm using. If you have a regular size glue dot, just go ahead and roll it into a little glue log and then use that to adhere. And then we can just trim these down a little bit, just like that. Okay, now we need to step it up just a little more. So we're going to pull in our sea glass, our faux sea glass, and we're going to use some of these. So I'm going to bring in my Take a Pick tool. And, oh, let's see. We have so many fun colors here to choose from. I think we're going to do some of these. So let's add one right here. And let's add, let's see. I don't know that I really like this lighter green, so we'll stick with the other ones. We'll add one here. A little small one right here. And I want to add a couple more because we have them. I don't know. Will that go? We're going to try it. So I add one here. I add one right here. There we go. And you can keep going and add as many as you like. All right. So that is our simple to step up version today using our Cactus Cutie cards. Let me bring in our original card here as soon as I find it because I put it off to the side thinking I was being all organized and stuff. And I buried it. Okay, so card one. Here it is. Simple, quick, stamps, ink, and paper. That's all we used on that. Then we stepped it up a little bit and added this paper lattice, and we used our punch to punch out the different pieces of our cactus, and we punched the end of our sentiment. And then our third card here, we went ahead and stepped it up even more by using an embossing folder, adding some of our Faux Sea Glass embellishments, our linen bow, our paper lattice, and also the punches that we use for the cactus and our greeting. So I hope you enjoyed today. And again, if you're watching the replay, just put in the comments that you're watching replay. It helps me know that you are out there watching the videos, and I know what more to do for you. And also, if you are watching this on YouTube, please share it. Please subscribe and help me out with this so I can bring you more videos in the future. So have a wonderful day. Enjoy your lunch, and we'll see you later this week, tomorrow night, live at 6:44 for Stampin' Fun and More. And then also check out my website, www.mystampstudio.com. I have got an awesome deal to share with you. It's called Sharing Hope, and you will be able to see it. All the details. Stampin' Up is offering an exclusive kit that you can get at an awesome price. And to top it off, I'm going to offer a live online class for everyone that participates and purchases that in my online store. You can come and actually card make with me. We'll be doing it on a Zoom, and we can talk and interact and see each other while we make the cards. All right. Take care and enjoy your lunch.